I really hope this is the last negative Marvel video I make for a long time, especially with Deadpool 3 coming out, and I do not want that video to be negative because I want Deadpool 3 to be freaking awesome. But if that movie is bad, I am gonna lose my freaking mind. But I have to make this video because, especially with the Giancarlo Esposito casting being announced, we don't know what he's playing, and with the Fantastic Four cast, it's just almostly bad. I just have to make this video because it looks like Marvel isn't really changing this really big issue of theirs. In my opinion, this is like a really big issue going on in Marvel right now, and they just need to change the way they're casting actors right now. I've talked about it before in previous videos, but I haven't gone into much detail about it, but I'm making this video go more in detail why I feel like the way they are hiring actors and the way they are casting some of their iconic characters is just terrible. I think the process of the way they go about it is completely wrong. I feel like the fact that they aren't holding auditions, from the sounds of it, is just really wrong once again. They don't really hire unknown actors anymore, which is really annoying, especially with certain characters. You want them to feel like they're the characters you're watching, not the actors playing themselves as the character, which I feel like 50% of the characters in the MCU right now, that's just the case. It feels like actors are just playing themselves and they've copy-pasted themselves onto a random Marvel character. And some of these castings aren't even actors, they're just random celebrities popping up into a Marvel project. We had like Megan Thee Stallion like just randomly twerking in She-Hulk. Like, what the hell was that? We got Harry Styles playing a random ass character, and like, who asked him there? Like, who asked you? Like, why are you here? I don't mean no disrespect to Harry Styles, I like his music, but do I really need to see him in the MCU just because he wanted to be in it? Like, that's just not how it works. Like, I just get so distracted because it's like I'm just seeing Harry Styles. I don't see a Marvel character. I feel like this is a joke. And then same thing with the Internals cast. Like, half of them were like A-list actors playing themselves. Like, you had Angelina Jolie and Salma Hayek, and I think they just wanted to be in a Marvel project just for the hell of it. Like, that's just not how it's supposed to work. Marvel used to be so great, so freaking great at casting their characters. And you know what? They actually had auditions. They even had an audition for Robert Downey Jr. playing Iron Man. The legend himself, the Oscar-winning actor, even had an audition. That's how it's supposed to be. Original way they were hiring actors before is because they did multiple screen tests, multiple auditions, and that's how we ended up with a great cast that all ended up having great chemistry. You also have to do chemistry reads. You don't just ask random actors and hoping that they just all work out and just like add your quirky MCU humor because you know it's relatable, ha ha ha. It's like, no, it's gotten so old, and the casting has been so trash recently, and most of the time it just feels like the actor is just playing themselves, copy and pasted onto a random Marvel character. Now, I'm not saying to never get an A-list actor to play a Marvel character. I'm just not what I'm saying at all. We had Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury, but he actually felt like Nick Fury. He actually felt like a character, and he was inspired by the Ultimate Marvel Universe version of Nick Fury. And I think the way they created that character, they just saw Samuel L. Jackson, so he was perfect for the role. So that makes sense. But what doesn't make sense is the way they hired, for example, like Blade. They saw Mahershala Ali won an Oscar, and they're like, you won an Oscar. How about you play any character you want? You don't even have to audition or anything. Any character you choose. I'm pretty sure Mahershala Ali will play a great Blade, but I don't like just the way they do things now. They're just like, hey, you want this character's up for grabs, here, you want to take it? Yeah, of course. Hey, why don't you play the character, because you won an Oscar, so you have complete say of any character you want to play. Like, no, I don't think that's how it should work. And maybe I'm nitpicking too much. Maybe that's okay on occasion, but the way they've been doing it recently, it's resulted in negative results. They did the same thing with Brie Larson too. They just asked her to play Captain Marvel, and I think that resulted into a bad cast. I don't think she was that great of a Captain Marvel, and Captain Marvel in general is not a character that I really like that much. I like her better as Miss Marvel in the comics, but when she became Captain Marvel, wasn't like, I felt like the way the character was written wasn't that great. And in the movies, it's not written that great too. She has like 3 different personalities in 3 different movies. I think Brie Larson doesn't fit any of those Captain Marvel versions that we've gotten. Like in Endgame, she's a bit more charismatic compared to her bland version of herself in the 2019 movie. And then we had her like, oh, I'm quirky. I don't want to say she wasn't that smart, but she was just like very not emotionally attached. She was like acting like she was missing human emotions, and they play that off as like a comedy thing in the Marvels movie, and she had a bit more personality there, but again, I just feel like Brie Larson was miscast as Captain Marvel. No disrespect to Brie Larson, I have nothing against her personally, because I know a lot of people go after her for various different things. I don't get into all that. It's just I just talk about movies, and yeah, I leave the outside stuff to the people that want to talk about the outside issues. I still believe that Brie Larson is not a good Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel. I think few of the last straws for me were the castings of the Fantastic Four. The way they went about the entire casting was absolutely terrible. They didn't hold any auditions. You have the Fantastic Four, you audition actors to play them, unknown or known. I don't give a damn. I want the best actor for the part based off the audition and chemistry reads, not if based off of who you ask and who says yes to you on the 11th try, because I think Pedro Pascal was like the 11th actor they asked to play Mr. Fantastic. That is not how it's supposed to work, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he'll be a good Mr. Fantastic. I personally don't think so. I don't think anyone that they casted for the Fantastic Four was that great. Maybe the guy from Stranger Things, Joseph Quinn, maybe he'll be a good Human Torch, and I think the guy that was cast as the Thing is pretty solid too. But I know for a fact there are actors out there, unknown and known, that could have played the Fantastic Four perfectly. And I just don't have much faith when they didn't even audition Pedro. They didn't audition most of the cast. Like, there was no chemistry reads. You know how the Guardians of the Galaxy was cast? Like, you know how the actors were cast in there? They were casted through auditions and chemistry reads. There's behind the scenes footage of it from the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Like, that really bothers me that was the way the Fantastic Four was cast. Like, this is the MCU's Fantastic Four, and they were just asked to play the characters. They didn't even have an audition to see who was best for the role. They were just like, oh, you're an A-list, come here. Pedro Pascal, you're in everything, why don't you come on to Marvel? What Marvel character you want to play? That's not how it's supposed to work. It's not, especially for the big characters, really important characters like the Fantastic Four. It didn't work for Eternals. I'm sorry, none of them seemed like they have chemistry, and it felt like half of them were playing themselves. So it's not going to work for the Fantastic Four either. They also recently just cast Giancarlo Esposito. I believe he's not playing Professor X like he was originally wanting to play, and I really thought he was going to based off how many times he talked about it. And there was like something about Denzel Washington playing Magneto. Just no. I'm sorry. I just think those are both horrible castings for the character. And it sounds like he's not going to be playing Professor X exactly. Either way, I wish they had him audition for something. I know he's a big-time A-list actor to the point where you shouldn't have to ask him. Or at least find him a character that's like something he fits perfectly like they did with Samuel L. Jackson. I don't really trust the way Marvel casts their actors. I'm sure they're going to have him play himself in some sort of movie. I don't know. I just know that the way Marvel's been casting has been complete misses. I miss the days where they hired unknown actors, because most of the actors they hire now are actors they ask because they've won an Oscar, or they're an A-list actor, or they've been in everything like Pedro Pascal, or they're a trendy singer like Megan Thee Stallion. Well, she's a rapper, but still Megan Thee Stallion or Harry Styles. I believe they want to cast Keanu Reeves as Ghost Rider. I know many people want that as a fan cast. I really don't want that. I want an unknown actor to play Ghost Rider like we got in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That was a great actor. Get him back as Ghost Rider, please. And also, look at the way Marvel shows cast their actors. Like Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist. I know a lot of people don't like Finn Jones as Iron Fist. I thought he was pretty solid, and I think he could play the role pretty well. I hope he comes back. But the actors for Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and Daredevil, Charlie Cox, Mike Holter, I don't want to say they were unknown actors, but they weren't like A-list actors that you literally see in every project like Pedro Pascal. Charlie Cox, I actually saw him in a few things before he played Daredevil, so he was somewhat known. And same thing with the actor that played Kingpin, Vincent D'Onofrio. He is a very well-known actor. He played like a detective on Law & Order Criminal Intent for like 8 seasons. So they were somewhat known, but they weren't like trendy actors you want to cast and everything, if that makes any sense. And most of the Marvel shows have the best castings in the entire MCU. I bet you today, if they were trying to find Daredevil, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and all of them, I bet you they would have asked like some random A-list trendy celebrity or someone very known, and wouldn't be the best choice for the role. You know, talking about all this, I'm just very thankful for James Gunn for hiring the best actors for the role, holding auditions, holding chemistry reads, keeping us informed too. I love the way how he keeps us, the fans. I love how he keeps the DC fans informed, answers questions. I think maybe he goes a little too far sometimes, and sometimes he responds to things I don't think is really necessary. But he does a great job of communicating, in my opinion. And I'm just thankful for the way he's giving unknown actors chances and hiring the best actors for the role. Like, the face of Superman is an unknown actor. I know he's a fan cast in a lot of ways because a lot of people wanted him to be Superman for a really long time now. But he didn't just give him the part. He held like multiple auditions, and it took a really long time to find their Superman, their Lex Luthor. And I think the way they casted Superman Legacy, well, it's no longer called Superman Legacy, but the James Gunn Superman movie, the way they casted it was absolutely perfect. And Marvel needs to take notes. Marvel needs to take notes from the guy that you used to work with. Actually, he used to be his former boss. How does your former employee know better than you at this point? Like, that's just sad. Anyways, maybe Marvel changes their ways on this. I doubt it. Maybe. I mean, they're changing a lot of the ways that they are doing certain things now. We'll see what their future holds when it comes to the way they hire actors. Maybe some people don't really see it as a big deal. I know the casting for Fantastic Four was met with like lukewarm reception. I think it's a terrible cast, honestly, and the way they were hired makes it even worse in my opinion. And I would like to see more unknown actors in the MCU. But again, maybe I'm in the minority on this, or maybe a lot of people will agree with me. But at the end of the day, I feel that the MCU needs to change the way they hire actors.